Do you ever feel stuck, like no matter how much you try to manifest the life you want, nothing changes that much? It makes sense since you were likely never taught how to have access to your true, powerful self. In this video, I'm again going to show you what the difference is between your physical thinking mind and your more intelligent consciousness part of you, or higher self, or as Joe Dispenza would call it, the greater mind, and how and why you want to access it. The great thing about this understanding that I'm going to present is that you don't have to entirely believe in or prove there is a higher self part of you. You just have to start acting like there is. I'll explain more about that shortly. Okay, so first I'm going to point to what often happens. You say things like, I want this thing or feeling, but then your focus, which is everything, is more on how you don't have it and how long you've been waiting for it. And then you add in some shame about your past mistakes, sprinkled in with some fear about your future. Now, I can tell you that is not a recipe for a fulfilling future. That is a recipe for more pain now and later. Yet you keep using that tired old playbook as if wishing and hoping from that place of feeling anxious and alone can produce the life you want. So a big reason you stay stuck in this pattern, even though it doesn't work well, is because you're using your thinking mind in a limiting way, giving it jobs it really wasn't designed to do. Like figure everything out from the worried mind you've been using and practicing. Doing that just leaves you feeling frustrated and exhausted from all those unintelligent strategies like controlling and desperately trying to make things happen. Remember, like I have talked about in other videos, those strategies just come from childhood beliefs about how to stay safe, and they were built through passed down fear habits given to you through epigenetic inheritance. They aren't yours to keep, they are yours to evolve and shift out of. Joe Dispenza points to this issue of limiting yourself with his teaching that when you use your physical mind in that way, your past anchors you to predictable thoughts and emotions, giving you the same outcomes, while a wanted future can be created by consciously generating elevated emotions and clear intentions in the present moment, because that is the only place you have power. What that means is you have to become more of a conscious co-creator in your now, with something better feeling than your negative emotions from the past infiltrating your nervous system. You have to get connected to something greater, and that's you. You have the power inside. You just have to nurture it to become aware of it, and then to experience it. Now, before I share more about this greater self of yours, please know that I am not suggesting you can just bypass any emotional processing that you still need to do. You need to let any fear come up in your body as it shows up, and then just be with that heavy energy so it can convert itself into heard energy. It needs to be heard and felt, which is a much more powerful and energized state for you to create from. You will see it will relax in your system. You'll be okay. So what is this higher self? First off, please know, like I mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily have to take this concept literally to obtain the benefit. All you have to do to get the ball rolling is to imagine if you had this greater self, what would your life be like? And then practice being, thinking, feeling, acting, like I always talk about, like that person. The reason you do this is because of all of that research on neuroplasticity and how the brain changes with repeated attention. That way, the concept of feeling supported can wire itself into your system as truth. Your physical mind and brain will wire to that feeling of support you conjured up, and it will mirror a reflection of that back in your experience. Ultimately, you need to know that you are a creator and a meaning maker in your life. Just look at how the placebo effect, focusing on the belief that a sugar pill will heal you, produces measurable changes in the brain and body. So attempting to connect with the higher plugged-in part of you is an intelligent activity for atheists and believers alike, I suppose. Now, from my vantage point, the higher, greater self is the multidimensional part of you that can see the bigger picture for you. Your higher self is not separate from you. It is a broadened, very wise facet of you. It carries your life themes, your intentions, and guides you through experiences that help you grow. This is why you don't have to prove yourself or force outcomes in your life. You're not here to create reality from scratch with your mind. You're here to experience the reality that your higher self is co-creating with you. And that happens when you bring your drive and passions to life with action. But, and this is a very big but, then leave the particulars to your higher self. Basically, you have to learn and truly know that letting go is an intelligent action. In that energy, you can stop fighting against yourself with all of that useless worry and fear. Now, how to connect. First of all, there's nothing like settling your body down and doing some Joe Dispenza meditations and breath work. Yes, you can use others too, of course. They will directly connect you with your greater self. But you will also need the following 2 things I'm going to give you to get the passion in order to follow through on doing those actions, like the meditations and breath work. And by the way, meditations do the work for you when you're doing those. So just drop in and let go as much as you can. Be with whatever shows up during them. Okay, number 1, the first thing you will need is to get deeply curious about who you really are and discover more of the resources available to you about the subject. Knowledge will be power here. So get busy looking into the truth of possibilities of you and stop wasting your focus on the news and empty feeling YouTube videos and TikTok. Number 2, the second thing you can do is prime your system about what you are doing and why you are doing it, so that following through on the how gets easier. Here's a method of priming you can practice if you like. Write out who you are starting to become while guiding the part of you that will want things to stay the same. All of us have those parts. It could go something like this. I like the idea of knowing I'm not alone. I'm not used to that, but if it were true, how would I think and what would I feel? I want to feel that. I've heard the science about the placebo effect in neuroplasticity, where my brain has the ability to change and reorganize itself through my experiences. Well, you know what? I'm going to experience being somebody who is excited to learn more about who I really am, all the while soothing the parts of me that feel really uncomfortable with this weird feeling change I'm doing. Now, as you do this, you will start to feel clearer and more whole over time, as the weirdness leaves, where life will start to flow more in your favor, even when things don't go perfectly. And they don't necessarily have to, because you are becoming aware that you actually aren't alone. Feel that right now. What if you had a loving part of you available right now? Be with what that would feel like. By practicing the feeling, you are creating and downloading a fuller sense of your whole self. You are intelligently accepting life as it shows up, meaning you stop fighting against things that suck your life force dry, like pushing against what you don't like instead of tuning into where you're going. No, life won't be perfect just because you're connecting with your higher self, but you can handle things a lot better now. Ultimately, it makes sense that when you are missing a big part of you, really big, namely an intelligent higher aspect of yourself that helps you navigate your whole world, you would feel exhausted and alone. But now is the time for change. Please tune in to the link videos to help you put all these pieces together even more. See you.